Let's start. Derivative is what we are starting with. Before I start with the derivatives, I was discuss with you stock market. The markets, what you see is a cash market. Cash market is a market in which actual buying and selling takes place. Cash market is actual buying and selling will take place. What we have in the course is a derivative market. Derivative market is futures and option. Although going forward we'll merge the futures and option with the cash market also, but FNO is the segment which comes out. We call it as a FNO segment. This entire market is a betting market. That means it's a legalized betting market. You can do betting on the cricket matches, you can do betting on the stocks. Stocks betting is allowed legally here. Before I move forward, I need a clarity from you on the futures options. Although terms we'll discuss, but I need some clarity from your side on the terms futures options and the cash market, because we'll merge even the cash market with this market. Future is nothing but as good as the forward, what we have done in the forex. It's as good as forward. Difference is forward is over the counter between two parties, futures is via stock exchange. If I try to visualize, let's suppose if this is my market, and in fact let me refresh the price. If I refresh a price, price would have changed because it's a cash market. The price is 1462.05. This rate is a cash market. Sir, how do you know it's a cash market? It's an equity market. The derivative market, when we click here, this is a derivative code which opens up. In the practical life, we can do betting only up to 3 months with the betting can be done. For example, practically you should be having some clarity on it. Practically betting can be done only up to the last Thursday. For example, last Thursday of this month is expiring on which date? Last Thursday of this month is expiring on which date? Which date? 27. That's a 27 Feb is the expiry date. In practical life, I can do betting only for 3 months. That means I can stand here, do betting for the month of March, do betting for the month of April. 26th March and 30th April. 26th March and 30th April are also the last Thursday of the month. It will become important when I move forward. It means practical life betting is only 3 months. Theoretically, it could be a number of months. Practical life, let's suppose I click it here and I click on the get data. The price would change. The prices would keep changing accordingly. Let me put down some other data because Reliance is in a bearish mood today. It's not in a happy mood because of the markets are down. Let us try to check some other rates if we can. In fact, only one share is in plus. 49 are off. Oh my God. 200 point Nifty is down. 200 point Nifty. Sensex should be around 600 down. It means now no matter what you click, everything is in a loss. Steel, Vedanta, and you should know what the effect is. The effect is only one virus in the economy as of now. That is taking away. Only Infosys up. That is Nifty 50 we call it as. Although we do not have a time so much to discuss on it. I'll discuss only the briefly. Nifty 50 we call it as because of 50 stocks. One has increased, 49 is down. If I click on Infi, let's suppose I click on the Infi. What we see is few points which I want to understand from you is this is called cash market price 798.60. It means if I need to buy this share, I will buy this share at 798.6. I can buy 1 share, I can buy 10 share, I can buy 50 share, I can buy 1000 shares. There is no problem. Practical I'm saying, because once I move to theory would be very different, or our work would be maybe a lot different from what you see in the practical life. Not all these shares are part of FNO segment practically. For the purpose of our chapter, we'll take it part of FNO stocks layer. Now in this case, 798.6 is the price. Since market is on, it is keep fluctuating. So the moment I refresh, this will change. When I click on the derivative code, it opens up which market, sir? It opens up a futures market. In the future market, we only have one price. In the future market, we have only one price. Now look at the underlying asset price. Underlying asset price is what? 797. This is a cash market price or a spot market price. It means if I want to purchase, buy, sell today, price would be 797. If I want to enter into an agreement today, but the settlement is 27th Feb, my expiry, look at please 27th, Feb. If I want to enter into a contract today, and the contract can be done for the last Thursday of the month, practically in our purpose for the exam, we can do the contract 1 month, 2 months and 3 months. The way we used to do in the forward contract. The expiry would be 27th Feb 2020. The price is what? 798.50. It means if you want to enter into a contract today, rate would be 797, and if you enter via the futures contract, it means price agree today, settlement will take place when? 27th Feb. Also when you enter here, there is a lot size. Lot size of the Infosys is 1200. That means betting has to be done 1200 into 798.5. Do the amount. 9,58,000. It means at a one go, you have to at least do the betting for 7,98,000, whatever it comes out. In the cash market, I can buy 1 share. I can buy 2 share. In the futures, this is what futures we are seeing. In the futures, if I have to do the betting, I have to do the betting on 7 lakh, 9 lakh, something which you are getting. Sir, can I do betting for some other months also? Yes, 3 months I can do. Let's suppose March I want to do the betting on. I click here, get data. The March price will open it up here. The March price should open it up here. It is late. Yes, it has opened. Now if you look at the March price, March betting price is 798.10. And if I want to do betting for the month of, sir, April, I can do for the month of April. The April price would change accordingly. We click it here. April is price is 802.20. Sir, underlying asset price, since market is changing, 797 point has become what? 796.60. It means as of now cash market price is 796. Sir, a minute back it was 797. The market is, I think, going down. Since the market had went down, the cash market rate has changed. It's a 3:30 market closes. After that, prices will not fluctuate. It means if you do this agreement today to buy sell, at what rate you will buy sell? As per this 796.6. If you enter into a contract today, but the settlement is 30th April, it can be called as a 3 months. Rate would be what? 802. In future, only one price appears. For the month of Feb, for the month of April, for the month of March. Only one price appears. Why the difference is there in the future price and the spot price is could be the reason you can tally from the concept of forward. Do you think the forward and the spot rate used to be different? Because we do not have the luxury of a time. I want you to cross tally with some of the data. Forward was different from spot rate. Tell me why. There used to be some parameters. Why? Because of some reason. Exactly same thing we'll find here. Before I move into my terms, because ultimately for exam terms are important, future is as good as a forward. Keep that in mind. Practical life lot size, question specifies, it's okay, otherwise we'll do the normal question. There would be difference between the spot price and future price. Yes, there would be difference between that. If you have a difference in spot and a forward price. Spot is agreement today, settlement today. Future agreement today, settlement after a point of a time. Keep that in mind. It will become a very important part for me, please. Settlement after a point of a time. Second reason, that once I do in the forward also, when you used to do the agreement, we used to do the agreement that enter today, after some time settlement will take place. That means the movement of the cash takes place after a point of a time. In this case, when we called a future market, in the future market, we only do is what? Settlement of profit and loss. We do only settlement of profit and loss. That means when you do the betting with anyone, let's suppose you do the betting, let us do the betting here only now. Let us do the betting. You become buyer or seller, 802.20. Do either buyer or seller. Buyer. That means you have agreed to buy from me at what? 802.20. I'm just taking a rough data because formally we'll move into topic. You have done the agreement to buy 802.20. Then that means I have done the agreement to sell. You would buy from me at 802.20 no matter what the price becomes. I would sell at 802.20 no matter what the price becomes. Now let me refresh. The price changes or not, let us see that out. The price has not changed, this 802.20. If this price would freeze here, that means price is not changing. The moment the price would change, we'll either into a profit or a loss which comes out. It's as good as, let's suppose the price would have become 803. You would have been in profit, I would have been in loss. Future is very simple. There is nothing to be learned in the futures contract. Second is the option. That means this price is nothing but a betting price. This price is nothing but a betting price of the Infosys. Second, I take it as options. What you have, option is slightly lengthier. Option is slightly lengthier. In the option market, this is how the option market looks like. In the option market, betting can be done at lot many prices. You might have a heard price called strike price. These in between, can you see that strike price? That means betting can take place from 540, 550, 560. These are different betting prices. Price can take place at n number of prices here. If you try to visualize that out, betting can take place. Two type of options you have heard maybe, that left hand side is a call, right hand side is a put data which comes out. That means option market, slightly challenging part comes out. We have just got a hint from here. We have not learned anything from here. I just want to show you that in the future market, the rate is only one. Betting would be you do plus and I'll do minus. In the case of the option market, betting can be done at n number of prices. And again, I'm saying in your exam, he can give you 1 month data, 2 months data, 3 months data, no matter what type of a data he gives you. Practical life, our data reads as 27th, 26th and 30th, 3 months. That means, sir, if I would open this screen on Friday, that is 28th Feb, on Friday, which months will I see? 1 month would mean March. Here if I stand and I do 1 month contract, it would mean 27th Feb. Even if I do agreement 2 p.m. on 27th Feb, for 1 month it would expire 27th Feb 3:30 p.m. 1 month is a standard here. It's the nearest date, unlike your forward contract. In your exam, this problem does not come. In your exam, this problem does not come. The problem would not be there. Second important part, is our future price different from the spot price? Keep that in mind, please. Future price is different from the spot price. Interestingly, when the expiry will take place, they merge together, they become same. The difference in prices comes, I'm just creating some rough numbers in your mind. The difference in the prices comes, major differences, one of them is time value of money. Major difference is time value of money. That means because of the timing difference, the difference in the spot and the future price would remain. Now in this case, let's suppose, sir, what are these items, what you're seeing here? These are strike prices or betting prices, which you see bid price and ask price on the left hand side. If you see and right hand side also, you see bid price and ask price. These are the premiums. In the option market, we have a concept of premiums. So maybe if time permits, I'll come back to that screen again. Objective was not to show you because it takes a lot of time when we do in the normal class. Entirely almost one class we spent plus minus on this kind of a screen, back again and come back. In our crash courses might not be able to come back, but one thing which I expect you to be very clear, because things will become very easy for me while going into the efforts, would be that you should be able to make a sense out from here, that if I have to go to, if I have to differentiate between a future contract, option contract, I should be able to do that out. These are my futures option contract. If I click on the underlying asset, let's suppose Infosys, this what opens up, this screen is a futures screen, 798, and this is a month of, sir, how do I know this is a future price? Because cash market price is this. The moment I click here, it will take me to the equity markets. You will not find this kind of a screen, stock futures, Infosys, 27th Feb. And let me click it here once more. Look at the screen, what you have here. It opens, this is cash market price. That means if you have to buy, sell the Infosys, you'll be buying, selling Infosys at 797.30. What you say when you do a demat account, you have purchased something, you sold something, this is what you do. FNO you cannot do, or if you do, you require a huge amount of money, because betting has to take place in lot size. In our case, we can do betting anything which is there. Is it a legalized betting? This is a legalized betting. That means government gets a huge amount of money. Just to give you a brief hint, NSE started this in around maybe 2001 or 2002 approximately. The Nifty NSE would have started, and everyone loves gambling. You also love gambling. Cricket match comes in, let us bet. India winning, Pakistan winning, India winning, Australia winning. And in betting, one thing is very sure. When you bet, let's suppose you're betting and India wins, you do not bring Virat Kohli back home, that yes, you won, I was betting on you, you have come. What you do is, settlement is how it happens. How its settlement takes place. If I win, you will give me what? Cash. And betting only takes place when your views, my view does not match with you. Entire chapter will assume one party you and one party me. I have not discussed any term, just I am giving you future market screen is different, cash market is different, and your option is different. Option is slightly lengthier because you have a n number of prices. It will take me approximately, even if I'm doing a fast forward case also, approximately half an hour to 45 minutes to summarize at least one of the market which comes out. Second important part of the betting is, let's suppose we are betting on the cricket match. We are betting on the cricket match and suddenly we start finding that you are betting, you said Australia wins, I said India will win, and India wins. Australia loses and you refuse to give me money. What can I do? You cannot do anything. You'll shout, scream, or etc. Some languages you'll use depending on what kind of a comfort level you have with the second person. You'll do that with nothing else you'll do. In this case, that problem does not take place. In this case, that problem does not take place. Understand the reason. This is via stock exchange. The dealing happens via stock exchange. You might have seen somewhere, you are betting with me and you are fighting India winning, Australia winning, India winning. Third person says deposit the advance money. Deposit advance money. NSE plays exactly that kind of a role. NSE collects money from both of us, keeps with them. Whoever wins, they'll give the money. They do not let anyone default. In case they do not transfer that kind of a money, then there would be a problem which comes out. So FNO segments, we generally do not have a loss, because in this kind of a market today, if I see, the market has fallen down approximately, now if I see the latest part out, it has fallen down 214 points. For you, it might be a very small. If I would have taken a single Nifty contract, size is 75, I would have taken, the loss would have been, if I was plus, the loss would have been approximately 16,000 rupees from till evening. And it's not a margin, it is loss which would be there. The seller would have gained. That means today, all future buyers would become empty, the kind of a loss they would be. Now as of now, 2 shares we have, that means only no share is upside, all shares are downside. Anyone who would have done the betting on the Tata Steel, Vedanta, Hindalco and so on, they are drastically down. The metals are down because of the Chinese problem. The moment Chinese problem will go, these are high beta stock, they'll start moving in. Since we have already opened, I'll take a few minutes more to understand different parts other than our topic. I'll come back very soon. The metals are down because of Chinese problem. Slowdown causes first problem to the metal sector. The moment the Chinese problem goes, this will be the sector which jumps up. This high beta sector, we call it as. It's a very high beta sector. For you as of now, you might not be able to get a feel of it. You're not able to get a feel of it, what is happening here. If I show you, let's suppose, if you're doing betting on Idea, let's suppose, if I show you, if you were doing betting on Idea, which has been one of our favorite stock over a period of a time, lot size of Idea is down 10% and 40 paisa down, only 40 paisa down, 40 paisa, it's okay. I click on derivative quote, look at the lot size of this, 98,000. That means you have to do betting at one go at 98,000. 98,000 to 40 paisa you can do, and check out what would be the loss of a future buyer. You can imagine the kind of a loss which would be there. That means it's not an easy market. This market can remove your clothes in a single day. It's a possibility, I'm saying it again. And this market can give you huge amount of profits also. We have seen the instances where 1 lakh rupee in a 2 days time have become crores of rupees also. This is the only market which is possible. But that's a dream. But dream, reality is this, what is there. Yes, someone has made the money. Who has made the money? Today future sellers have made the money for sure. Because if you sell something, it's very common. I expect you to carry 2 common things, no matter what we do inside the chapter. 2 common things. If you buy something, you will make a profit when the price goes up. That's a future first phenomena. You will make a profit if you are a seller when the price goes down. That's exactly what has to be done. Is that fine? So we'll come back to it. That's a lot size. We will not worry about the lot sizes because our concern is not there, whatever the question gives. So coming back to the parts here, what we were discussing here, stock market, cash market and derivative market. From the exam perspective, let us flow that out. One part to remember is NSE is a mediator. So this is a betting market. Objective of the betting market is it will be a cash settled contracts. We call them as a cash settled contracts. Sir, cash settled contract means we'll settle down profit or loss. We'll settle down profit or loss. That means the person who makes a profit will take away the profit. The person who is a loss will give the loss. No actual buying of selling of shares takes place for your level as of now. No actual buying or selling of the shares takes place. It's a no physical delivery, basically, if I put a very straightforward sentence. Although we are seeing some change in the equity markets in Indian perspective, but for your exam perspective, for a general perspective, derivative is no settlement will take place. Another doubt which might come to you, why we call this word as a derivative? Why this word is called derivative? You might have heard the definitions long many times. Derivative is, it derives its price from what? Underlying assets and so on. We just now have seen the two, I'm not able to recall back Reliance, let's suppose. Infosys spot price was around 797, future price was 802 or 798 point something, different months. We just now saw the idea also, spot price was around 4, future price was also what? Future price, sir, it should be around, if I try, this is my future price, around what rupees? 4. We were seeing Infosys in the option market, you could see prices betting were 540, 550, 600, so on. If I want to see option market of idea, the betting would be, prices would be what, sir? I've clicked on the idea and the strike prices are betting market of the options. The betting can take place in idea 1 rupee, that means it will become 1 rupee, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now try to understand what I'm saying here. Derivative is the word used. For example, gold price is appearing today around 42,000 I think, or 41,000 approximately. Tell me your expectation of the gold price. Increase or decrease? One view you need to have, and do not worry, we are not betting and you're not paying anything to me, but for the purpose of understanding we are doing increase. Your is increase, my view does not match with you, I feel decrease, and we argue for a long time, and next word from your side will come, let's have a bet, sir. Let's have a bet. I said let's have a bet. After 2 months you say I'll come, or I say come after 2 months and buy the gold from me 48,000 rupees. Buy the gold from me 48,000 rupees per 10 gram. Will you enter into a bet? 41,000 is today and I say after 2 months buy from me at 48,000 rupees, or leave apart that idea only. Can you see the idea? Tell me your expectation. Tell me your expectation. Decrease. Decrease. Mine is increase, let's suppose. If your is decrease, mine is increase, and you enter in bet, you say sir let's enter into bet, and you quote the betting price at idea 20 rupees. That's sir come after 2 months and buy at 20 rupees. Now do you think idea can become 20 rupees in 2 months time? It will be a drastic change has to come. It cannot become. Gold, if I say 41,000 and betting price cannot be 48, but the moment I say betting price 41, betting price 41,500, betting price 40,000, you will enter into bet. Infosys price was 798, 797. Betting can take place 100, 200 up and down. Betting cannot take place at 100 rupees. Betting cannot take place at 2,000 rupees. Similarly, if I look at the share called, let's support MRF. Let's put up MRF. If I click on MRF, the cash market price of the MRF is around 70,000. Can you see that price? And let me see the market here. The options chain, when I open it up, let me see the prices here. The moment I open, look at the betting prices, 65,000, 67,000, 68. Can you get some hint from here? Betting price is basically near to what? Cash market price. Derivative, why do you call this derivative? Derivative is, it derives, the betting price is derived looking at what? Cash market. That is what we call it as a derivative market. The reason of calling it a derivative market is it derives its value from the underlying asset. It is not arbitrarily, you will understand that yes, MRF I can do the betting at 100 rupees. No, idea I'll do the betting at 200 rupees. It's not possible. The underlying share price is around 69,000. Betting would be around that. Sir, if I want to see the future price of MRF, if I want to see the future contract, let's suppose a MRF, the future price would be around 69,000. If I want to see the MRF 27th Feb rate, that should be around, cash market was 69,000, the future price has to be approximately around 69,000. This is the betting price. Underlying price is 69,100 and the future price is 69,208. If I move to the month of March, this price would increase. This price would increase 69,541. The reason of increasing is because as you move forward, the timing increases. What will be learning via the formulas. So I expect a few basic part which you might have done during your initial classes. So you can get gather here. Derivative is, it derives from the value from its underlying asset, and it is not that arbitrarily you can do the derivative contract. Summarizing till here, cash market is actual buying, selling, make the full payment, stock will come to your demat account. Sell the share, shares will go out of a demat account, cash would come to your account. Future market, only profit and loss settled, that's it, nothing happens. And then what are the complexities, what are the requirements, so on, we'll be learning with the time. So this was only a basic, just to give you clarity. Whatever you've learned in your normal classes, you can give a pause to it, no matter what you've done. Now I'm coming back to what we would have learned in the normal classes, which comes out. In this case, first market I'm covering is the option market. Let's put down please, option market. First part I'm covering is option market. And without taking any kind of a detailed example, which we'll do with the working option market, you tell me what are the two types of option, which I expect you would be knowing. Option is call or put. In fact, why this is called an option market? This is called an option market because in this market, one person will have the right, second person will have the obligation. One party has the right, that means the concept of a premium comes in, which you have learnt maybe during your initial classes or normal classes. The concept of premium comes in, it means one party would have the right, second party would have the obligation. The reason of option is the person who pays a premium. It's as good as, let me take a very simple example. You have given the examination fees to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India to give the exam in May, which you might have given as of now, some of you would have given. You have the option now. You have the option. If you want to go to the hall, sit there, they'll give you paper, sheet, give the paper, come back. If by chance, sir, I do not want to go, Institute will not come to your home and snatch you, come, you paid the fees, come here and give the exam. They will not do it. It means you have paid the premium, or you have paid the amount, or you can call it as a token money you have paid. You have reserved a right, if I want to come, you will allow me. They have to offer you the seat. Obligation is whose part now? Institute. Exactly same thing is option market. It means out of the two parties, one would have the right, second would have what? Obligation. Second party would have the obligation. Interesting part of this option market is when you say a call and a put option, you can have two views. This market betting can be done even if you are not having the shares. In the cash market, I cannot sell something if I do not have the shares. In the futures market, in the options market, I can do the contract to sell shares if I do not have the shares. For example, market has fallen by how much? 200 points. Let's suppose your expectation is tomorrow again the market will fall. Let's suppose tomorrow again your expectation market will fall, but neither you have a Reliance share, neither you have any company other shares with are there. You cannot do anything. Otherwise, a general person, you know what he does? He will do is what? He will sell the shares today, and when the price falls, he will do what? Buy the shares. That is what it would have been done. But this market allows. This market says even if you do not have the shares with you, you can enter into a betting contract. Basically, betting contract can be done without holding any kind of a shares with us. That is this market allows. But the problem with this market is it's a huge amount of money involved. Option market we are covering first. I'm not covering future. Option market, in the option market, on whatever rate we do the betting, that rate is called strike price, or a strike price, or a exercise price. That means you can do the betting at one contract, you can take that I would sell at this part, you can pay some amount of a premium and reserve your right. That could be a possibility, right can be reserved. So I'll dictate some terms, few examples will do it, will get the grasp of it. Although I know you would be very comfortable, I would stop at a point where I have seen a student facing a problem in the option market when we're doing it, because our major concern would be mixing this market with the cash market, maybe mixing future market with the cash market, mixing currency derivatives, currency and this market. That would be the major task. Anywhere by chance you feel that the term is not clear, although I'm presuming you would be knowing basic terms like call option, put option, the future buyer, future seller, but still I'll dictate everything and move forward to it. Whatever and how much time permits us, I'll go into the in-depth of it, but ultimately at the end my objective is, since we are preparing for the exam, it has to be exam questions. Anywhere where I'll feel like that this exam question requires a practical aspect, I'll bring it back. So I'll shorten it out. Otherwise, in fact, in a normal classes when I take, it takes me one day to learn that term only, option, call and put. So which I cannot do it here. 3 hours I cannot spend on that part out. I'll straight away move, but wherever I feel I have to highlight, and I'll highlight that. And assuming since you have a pressure of the exam, certainly your mind is working much sharper than what it's a normal class it works out. Option, put down the words please. Option, put down the word. Option, put down the word. Option is the right. Option is the right. Option is the right to buy or sell. Option is the right to buy or sell specified asset. Option is the right to buy or sell specified asset at specified price. Option is the right to buy or sell specified asset at specified price on or before due date. On or before due date. The keywords are right. Right is the keyword. Right. The two type of rights you can have. Right to buy. Right to buy is known as call option. Right to buy. Second is right to sell is known as put option. Right to buy, call option. Right to sell, put option. Right to buy, call. Right to sell, put option. Option is the right to buy or sell specified assets. Specified asset, in our case when we were looking some of the shares, you know what was the specified asset? Specified assets were Idea, Infosys, the MRF, these are specified. If I'm doing betting on gold, it becomes a specified asset. This is nothing but specified asset is on what asset you're doing agreement. It's called underlying asset. Right to buy or sell specified asset at what price? Specified price. Specified price. You know what was the specified price known as? It is known as strike price oblique what, sir? Exercise price. Strike price or exercise price. On due date. On due date means settlement will take place on expiry. On due date. Settlement will take place on maturity. Which practical life we were seeing? You know which dates? 27th Feb is the due date. 26th March was the due date of a 2 months contract. 30th April was due date for 3 months of contract. But for the exam perspective, whatever you'll say, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, will settle it out on due date. That is, on due date is on maturity. And this is known as, in India, we have on due date options. This is on maturity. We call it as European. We call it as European options. In exam or in US, we find infrastructure is very strong. You can enter into a betting and exit. You can enter into betting, exit there. For example, let's suppose you are betting on India, Australia. India plays first innings and India scores, let's suppose in the first 10 overs, India scores 150 runs. First 10 overs. Hypothetical example I'm taking. Now, you start feeling, and 1 wicket loss or 0 wicket loss, let's suppose, more hypothetical, 150 run, 10 overs. It's a 99% surety. Every one of you will start believing India will what? Win. India will win. And then you go to the second person, says India will win, settle the contract. If they settle the contract, because India comes in a winning position, if you settle the contract, we call that as a before due date settlement, American option. If it was European, he'll say, let we wait for the match to get over. Let the match to get over, then we'll settle down. That is called European option. That means in India, when we enter, we settle as a European. That means on maturity, we'll settle down. In the case of a American option, it can be settled before due date. The wordings, what you had, option is the right to buy or sell specified asset, specified price, on or before due date. So on due date we have, on due date, let's put down before due date. Let's put down before due date is equal to which option, sir? American option. American option. Below that, let's put down few points. Now I do not know it's a how do you track, because we are not engineers. Only 5 minutes or 6 minutes we have played the Tennessee. I was using a connection of Geo and message has come, your 2 GB limit is over. In 5 minutes your 2 GB gets exhausted, and it happens every time. I don't know why. Why it happens? How much is 2 GB, by the way? It's a huge, I think. This much what I've used here, this is the only used message has come. I don't know, sometime I am not engineer, else I would have filed a case against them. Every time 5 minutes you play, over, limit over. I don't know it happens with you or not. No one is using, only one user there, Nalaik. On due date, European options, before due date, American option. And certainly if you were not in class, I could have presumed, you being so sincere, exam in the head, you will, even if you want to try, you will not be using my data for sure. It remains off. On due date, before due date. Put down some points below that. Let's put down few points below that. Let's put down. Let's put down. The person who buys the right, the person who buys the right, the person who buys the right is known as, the person who buys the right is known as holder oblique buyer of the option. The person who buys the right, the person who buys the right is known as holder oblique buyer of the option. Now I'm using my words very carefully. A person who buys the right, he is not buying the share, he is buying the right. And there could be the first doubt which comes. Somehow we start believing we are buying the shares. You are not buying the share. You are buying the right to buy the share. You are buying the right to buy the share. That means you have taken the right to buy the share. Right could be of buying the share, right could be of selling the share. Both rights can be bought. The person who buys the right is known as holder oblique buyer of the option. Second point, put down. Second point. Holder pays option premium. Holder pays option premium. Holder pays option premium. Full stop. His maximum loss can be option premium. His maximum loss can be option premium. His maximum loss can be option premium. Next point. The person who sells the right, the person who sells the right, the person who sells the right, the person who sells the right is known as, the person who sells the right is known as writer oblique seller of the option. The person who sells the right is known as, the person who sells the right is known as writer oblique seller of the option. Next line. Writer oblique seller of the option. Now seller is, he is selling the right basically. He will receive premium or pay premium? Receive. Next line. He receives option premium. He receives option premium. He receives option premium. He receives option premium. Full stop. His maximum gain would be what, sir? His maximum gain could be option premium. His maximum gain could be option premium. His maximum gain could be option premium. Now again I'm writing two type of options we had. I'll make this another summary here. Option, call option, put option. Call option, put option. No matter how technically we discuss, in the general layman's language, we can call it as call option is called upside betting. Upside betting. Upside is the price increase is the expectation. Upside betting. Put option is downside betting. Put option is downside betting, that is price decrease. Call option is upside betting, put option is downside betting, price increase and decrease. Now technically I'll discuss and then I'll put down the basic points of it. Upside betting means is any definition which is made will be from the holder's point of view here. Holder, from your point of view. I'll presume entire chapter in the option side, you are the holder, I am the seller. Holder basically means a person who has a right, who has taken the right, you have paid the premium. Either you have taken the right to buy or you have taken the right to sell. Upside is you will make a profit when the price increases. Downside betting, when you've done, it means you will make a profit when the price decreases. Now in the call option we had the definition, option is the right to buy or sell specified asset, specified price on or before due date. If I divide that into call and put, we divide it as option, call option is the right to buy a specified asset, specified price on or before due date. Put option is the right to sell a specified asset, specified price on or before due date. Let's put down that please. Call option, if I try to segregate call option, the keywords are right to buy, specified asset, right to buy, specified asset, specified asset, specified price. Right to buy, specified asset, specified price on or before due date. Right to buy specified asset, specified price on or before due date. Similarly, if I put here, it's a right to sell, right to sell. The word is sell, word was buy. Specified asset, specified price on or before due date. On or before due date. For the time being, I'll be ignoring premium and then working out on some numbers. I'll be ignoring premium and then work out on some numbers which comes out. Now this is my data which stands for the call and the put option. Call option is upside betting, that means the person who's taking a call option, his expectation is price increase. A person who's taking, and it's a holder only, writer, and do not put yourself in my shoes and think why writer is doing. Let writer do anything what he wants. So we are not focusing as of now on the writer. In the coming time, in a very short while from here, we'll understand why the writer does so and what is the objective of doing. There has to be some difference between the holder and the writer. Holder is basically he wants to the objective should have been hedging, but it is not hedged here. The objective was hedging, but he is trying to do a betting. That means you are doing a betting either upside or downside. That is the betting you are doing. Now call option, I am picking up some data. Call option, I am picking up some data. The rate at which betting will take place is known as what? Strike price or exercise price. Let me look at some data here. I am putting it up. Let us look up the Infosys only. Let's pull up the Infosys exercise price of Infosys, any rate we can do betting. Let's suppose 800 you've done the betting, 800, and you become, I'll be using word, holder I'll be using a word plus, so it's a basically call option you have bought. It's a call option you have bought. I'm assuming you've done C plus. You've done C plus. That means you have become a holder of the call. You have purchased a call option. Now, actual market price on expiry, I'm assuming on Thursday it becomes. Actual market price on expiry, any of the two becomes. You have purchased the right to buy. C plus is you have purchased the right to buy share of Infosys from me at 800 rupees. You become the holder, I became the writer. On expiry, either price would become 700, let's suppose, or price becomes 890. No premium I've taken, 890, or the price becomes. Now, you had the right to purchase. At what time, at what price you had the right to purchase? 800. Given a choice, in market it is available at 700, would you come and purchase from me at 800? No, price has fallen. Option would what? Lapse. Option will lapse. We call it as option will lapse. Option will lapse here. Will lapse. You have the right to buy from me at 800. Market it is available at 890. Option would be exercised. Who will gain? Holder. Gain of holder. That means gain of holder, he will get how much rupees, sir? 90, and this will be as good as equal to loss of writer. This will be my loss which comes out. Now, sir, what is the premium? We have not taken any premium, which we'll do in the normal question. Try to understand what I'm saying. From here, I can make some points now. The expectation was, when you take a call option, what is your expectation price? Rise. If price moves up, you will make a profit. If price falls, option would lapse. If I try to write technically, I would write how, sir? I would write when actual market price is greater than what price? Exercise price. Actual market price is greater than exercise price. Option would exercise. In whose favor? Holder, and against the writer. When the actual market price falls, option would lapse. So means whatever premium you would have paid, that premium would be a loss which comes out. Copy that part. I'll dictate some sentences then. Copy that part. Copy this part. I'll dictate some sentences then. I'll dictate some sentences below this part here now. I'll dictate some sentences here. Let's put down this part. Expectation. Expectation is equal to what? Price increase. Price increase. This option would be exercised when? Option would be exercised. Option would be exercised when what? Can I say actual market price is what? Greater, like greater than exercise price. Actual market price is greater than exercise price. Price increases, that only. actual market price greater than exercise price. Option would lapse. Option would lapse when? Option would lapse when? What, sir? Actual market price is less than exercise price. Option would be exercised when actual market price is greater than exercise price. Option would lapse when actual market price is less than exercise price. Similarly, same points I'll make for the put option. We'll copy the data accordingly. Put option is downside betting. Put option is downside betting. That means you are entering into a contract in which, and I'm reading from the holder's point of view, you have taken the right to buy or sell. In the case of a put option, in the call option you have taken right. Please understand, you are paying premium for the right. You are not paying premium for buying or selling of shares. You're paying premium for that right. Right could be of a buying a share. Right could be of selling a share. So when you pay a premium, we do not say that you are buying a share. I have paid a premium, have taken the right to purchase. I have paid a premium, have taken the right to sell. I have taken the right to sell. Let's put down, please, what we'll be doing it here. In the second case, I'm putting up here now. In the downside betting, let's suppose I put some data here now. Let's suppose exercise price is rupees 1100 and you have taken the put option. Put option means you have taken the right to what? Sell. And on expiry, actual market price, on expiry, actual market price can either become, let's suppose, 800 or it becomes 1400. You have the right to sell at what? 1100. When you say exercise price, that means you have taken the right to sell at what rate, sir? 1100. No matter what the price becomes. If the price becomes 1400, the option would lapse. Option lapse. Option is equal to lapse. And in this case, option would be equal to what? 800 exercised. And how much gain to the holder? Gain to the holder would be equal to, sir, rupees 300. We are not talking about premium as of now. When we move forward, we'll speak about it. It's a gain is equal to rupees 300, which comes out. Gain is equal to 300. And this gain is for the holder. Automatically, if this gain is holder, writer would be having what loss? Loss of 300. Now, if I try to put some sentences below this put option, the expectation is what? Expectation is equal to price decrease. And this would be, option would be exercised when, sir? Option would be exercised when actual market price is what? Less than exercise price. Option would lapse when? Option would lapse when? Option would lapse when? Actual market price. Actual market price is greater than what? Exercise price. Option would lapse when actual market price is greater than exercise price. How many types of option? 2. Call and put. Who buys call option is known as what? Call option holder. Who buys put option is known as what? Put option holder. Who sells call option is known as what? Call option writer. Who sells put option? Put option writer. What was the expectation of call option holder? Price increase. We call it as a bullish. Price increase, bullish. And please think from your perspective, my data automatically would be made. If you are a call option holder, I am a call option writer. Your expectation price, my expectation price decrease. You are bullish, bearish? Call option holder, bullish. Call option writer, bearish. Put option holder, if you are put option holder, I am what? Put option writer. Put option holder, your expectation price, my expectation increase. You are bearish, I am bullish. You pay premium or receive premium? Holder pay premium, I receive premium. Now come to the second last page of your book. Come to the second last page of your book, I think, or last page in fact. Check, it's the last page, I think. You have same graph on the last page? Do you have the same graph on the last page of your notes? Can you see that out? Now please look up. Same is there. Now before you read, I'll help you out how to read that out. Look up please. That's a summary of what we have done till now. That's a summary of what we have done. Parties to the option. Parties to the option. Look up please. Two parties we have, holder, buyer, and what? Writer and seller. For the holder I am putting what sign, sir? I am putting plus sign. Holder I am putting plus sign, writer I am putting what? Minus sign. So minus sign is being put. If I try to analyze this graph here, if I try to analyze this part out, right, this party will become, in fact, when I'm trying to read, the way of reading is call option holder would be read with, look up please, call option writer. This is the right, this person will have what? Obligation. He has a right to buy, this will be obligation to what? Sell. You pay premium, he will receive premium. Maximum loss is equal to what? Premium paid. His maximum gain would be premium received. Maximum gain is equal to unlimited. Sir, why unlimited? Price can keep rising to any level, unlimited. His loss would be unlimited. He will make profit when price increases. He will lose when price increases. That means if you are making a gain of price increasing, automatically I would loss when the price increases. My holder expectation, price increase. Writer expectation, price decrease. You are what? Bullish. I am what? Bearish in nature. Similarly, when I read the put, in the put, before we look at there, we can verbally talk out and then you can see that part. Put option holder, right to sell. Writer would be obligation or right? Obligation to buy. Put holder pays premium, receives premium. Pays premium. Writer receives premium. Your maximum loss, premium paid, because option would lapse. At the most is what? You have given the examination fees. Do not go for the exam. What will happen? Nothing will happen. It's only a fees which is gone. That's it. And my maximum gain is what? Fees received. Your maximum gain is as the price falls. Although as the price falls, for example, let's suppose you've done the betting on idea. Price fall. How much is the rupees? 4. Price becomes 3. How much gain you make? Price becomes 2, how much gain you make? Price becomes 0, how much gain you make? 4. Price becomes minus 2. How price becomes minus 2? That means maximum gain in the case of a put holder could be what? You have done the betting at 4, that means you have taken the right to sell at what rupees? 4 rupees. At the most that price can fall to what? 0. Although the shares which are in F&O segment cannot become 0 so easily, but still I am saying at the most the share can become what? 0. If that becomes 0, then that means his maximum gain you can make is what? Exercise price. Although if we write unlimited also, it does not make a difference, but the objective is we should be very clear, it is only a strike price. For example, Infosys price was what? Around 797. If it keep falling, at the most it can become what? 0. That means you can make a profit up to what price? Strike price. Hence I have written that maximum gain is strike price, and your loss would be again strike price. The put holder makes a profit when? The put holder makes a profit when? Price decreases. And the writer makes a profit? Price increases. It's a bullish. Now from here also learn one thing. Call holder is bullish. Put writer is also bullish. Call holder is bullish. Put writer is also bullish. Put holder is bearish. Call writer is also what? Bearish. But both are not same. That means P plus, I use a habit of P plus is P for put plus for holder. P for put minus for writer. P minus is writer. C for call. If it's a holder, I use C plus. If it's a writer, I use C minus. Now the call holder is bullish. Put writer is also bullish in nature. The put holder is bearish. Call writer is also what? Bearish. But they are not same. They are not same. Understand the reason why they are not same. The holder has a right and this person has what? obligation. There is a difference, and you could get one doubt as of now. Keep that doubt with you for the time being. That could be a possibility, and we are not going to depth because we do not require it, but still you should have the doubt in the mind which comes out. Sir, why would someone become a bearish by taking a unlimited loss when he can take a limited loss and become a bearish? There has to be some difference between both of them. There has to be some logical difference between both of them. That why a person would become a bearish, I can take a bearish of a nature by taking what? Paying premium. Why would I become a writer and take the nature of bearish? The put holder is also bearish, call writer is also bearish. If I am bearish in nature, then what is the reason of becoming a obligation and bearish? I can become what? Call holder and a bearish could be there. So there could be a doubt, but we are do not enter into a writer's shoes. Writer basically becomes a writer due to certain reason. Writer becomes a writer due to certain reason. If time permits, we'll discuss at one of the example that why a writer becomes, or what is the basic nomenclature in the philosophy of a holder and writer. Holder can be bullish, writer can be bullish. Holder can be bearish, writer can be bearish. Difference is holder has a limited loss, profit is unlimited. Writer has limited profit and loss is what? Unlimited. That comes out the unlimited. Just see that chart now once, please.